All right, we are back, and today we're going to be taking a look here at the Abxylute One Pro cloud gaming Android-based handheld that you can do emulation on as well. I've been testing it out now for a little bit here. Cool device, and we will go over what my thoughts are on the Abxylute One Pro. All right, so here we are. This guy down here is the Abxylute One Pro, the latest one here from Abxylute that I believe are now shipping out. It was kickstarted and everything, and they're now going out to the backers. And then we have the first iteration of this device up here, which is the Abxylute One. And I actually reviewed this device. Go check out that review. I will have the link in the description. I did not like this one. This was one thing here that I thought they had a good concept. It was trying to take on the Logitech G Cloud. It was coming in at a lower cost, but there were just things with this device that I could not recommend getting for. And that was, I mean, the main thing would be the joysticks were brutal. I just found there was not great control at this, and I had done everything to try to adjust them to make them better, and I couldn't get them. And the other thing was it was just too underpowered. It was pretty slow. Like even just booting this thing up right now, it took a while to get going, and there was a lot of lag to it. And with the Abxylute One Pro, they have upgraded and made things far better. I'm really enjoying this device so far. But this is kind of the big difference between these two, if you're wondering, because I mean, they have the same shell. You can see that they basically look the exact same. There's slight differences in the ergonomics, but nothing too crazy. Like there's some more speaker grills here. When they're resting, this one is up a little bit more grip to it. It is a little bit thicker, but just slightly. Like it is, you can't really notice any of the differences between them in terms of the ergonomics. But this guy here has the MediaTek MT8365 that was on the original Abxylute. And then the Abxylute One Pro has a nice upgrade, which has the MediaTek Genio 510 in it. Both Android based, of course. But with this one now, because of the new chip in it, you can actually have some pretty good emulation on it. The other big upgrade here, which is going to be a massive win, and I've been playing first-person shooters, third-person shooters, all types of games on this, emulation from older consoles, everything on here. And it is these guys here, the joysticks. The joysticks are significantly better. They really took that advice to heart when they were making this Abxylute One Pro, and I'm very happy to see that. They went with these more kind of smaller Nintendo Switch style of joysticks on the first one. Just going to turn the sound effects down, and it just, you had no control. Now these guys here, and to be fair, these ones on the Abxylute One are actually Hall effect joysticks. So you do have that. The ones on the One Pro are capacitive digital joysticks, and Abxylute claims they are the world's first in a handheld. They're full size, so you get the full movement with them. They feel great. There is complete smoothness to them. Like they don't have that like clickiness sometimes where you're hitting the plastic and it just doesn't feel good. These feel absolutely great, and they control very well within games. That is the main thing. You're playing a first person shooter, you will feel like you can actually control your aim with these joysticks, where with this one you couldn't. So that is a massive win and a massive upgrade for the Abxylute One Pro. They feel a lot closer to an Xbox controller. If you like the Xbox joysticks, they will feel a lot closer to that. The only big difference I would say with this would be the actual size of the nub here, of the thumbstick, is small, but at first I was a bit off-putting, but it actually feels completely fine. When you're playing, it feels great when using this thing and using these joysticks, even though they are a bit smaller. They're not the same, I guess, circumference as you would have on these, but these again were terrible. So they did a great job upgrading that. Now everything else is basically the same. The buttons feel the same, the menu buttons, the home, and this button here feels the same. The D-pad I actually really like. To me, it feels very good, and it felt good on the first one, and they didn't change it. It's the same D-pad basically, at least from my touch, and I love it. So the D-pad is great on that. Some other big differences when you're going from the Abxylute One to the Abxylute One Pro is that the One Pro supports 4K video output at 30 frames per second. It allows you to connect it to an external display or AR glasses, which was not supported here with the first one. So that's pretty cool to see on there. There also is a slight upgrades here. The One Pro features upgraded audio drivers, and the speakers are fine on this. Like if you want to play without headphones, you'll be okay. You'll be fine running it through these speakers. They sound decent. I usually ran this with Bluetooth headsets because I was playing this in bed and I was playing this when people were around, and I didn't really want the speakers blowing out in front of everybody, but they do sound fine from what I did test. The operating system on the One Pro one's Android 13, whereas on the One it ran Android 12. And the just overall playability of this thing is just much, much better. So the display itself, 7-inch IPS LCD 1920 by 1080p. I'll move this guy out of the way now because we're going to focus on the One Pro because all the big upgrades have kind of been mentioned here. But this has 1080p display, 60 hertz refresh rate, 16 by 9 aspect ratio, and then of course multi-touch on the screen itself. Then it has a storage of 32 or 64 gigabyte, but you can expand it. There is an expansion slot here. I already have an SD card in here. And the reason I have the SD card in here is because the upgraded chip in this, but the MediaTek chip, you can emulate. And you can emulate relatively well. Like you can emulate up to GameCube, PS2, original Xbox, and the games will run. Now, from my testing, like if we go here, I've been basically just doing Dolphin emulator here. As you can see, for some reason, I'm playing some NFL Street 2. I was testing that out there. I wish we could get those NFL Street games back, just simply because those were awesome, and we haven't had those arcade style sports games in a while. But I put on a bunch of games as of right now, some odd ones and stuff. But these games all run relatively well. Now, there was some issues in some of them, and I don't know whether that is the game just demanding more performance or the emulation needs to be tweaked or settings within Dolphin that I need to do. But you had some games running just pretty much perfectly well at 60 frames per second. And you had other games that would get some dips going down to about 40 frames per second. Had to do some tweaks. There were some audio things that were kind of off with it. But overall, I would say emulation on this thing is completely fine. If you are willing to kind of go through some of the tweaks on certain titles and make sure everything is running, you're not going to get a huge upres in resolution because when you do that, the game performance does drop. You're going to be playing it at basically the native resolution of as to what these games ran at on the GameCube, but on this screen, they look completely fine. And it's cool to see now with this version because with the previous one, you really couldn't emulate much. The emulation just was terrible on it, but this one you can get some good results out of it. So I've done GameCube, I've done some GBA, which of course will be fine. So basically anything up to GameCube will be completely fine with emulation on the Abxylute One Pro. And it's a nice device. I mean, you can run everything on here. This is Dolphin. I also have Launchbox, which if you don't know, that just gives you like a nice layout for being able to run your games. And it loads up relatively fast. This was, for some reason, I was playing Kelly Slater's Surfing. I don't know why I was playing that, but I was. But this is very nice. It just much faster than the previous one. And then you can go through here and you get like a nice, just overall look at your games, and it does it very good. The other thing here, you can do a bunch of different things because it's Android. Like I got RetroArch on here, I got a browser on here, I got Dice Show, which is another Launchbox style of application to give you a good look at your games. So the emulation on this thing, because of these upgrades, is great. It's done very, very well. But besides the emulation, you're wondering how long does or what else does this thing do and how long does it last? Obviously, cloud streaming is a major feature of this. You're getting your Xbox, you're getting all of the different cloud streaming services out there. So you got Steam, you can do PS Remote Play. You can do Moonlight, which allows you to do your PC stuff, which is great. You can actually do the different types of Xbox streaming, the Remote Plays from Xbox Play and PX Play. You can do better xCloud, which actually gives you a better cloud gaming experience than Xbox Cloud Gaming itself in the native app, which is kind of funny. GeForce Now. So it's great for all of the streaming stuff. And the streaming stuff actually loads up very, very nicely and fast comparatively to the old one. You can play all of your cloud streaming stuff, as I mentioned. We'll just jump in here to Forza Horizon 5. This is via Xbox Cloud Gaming. You click it, it'll bring you right to Xbox Cloud Gaming and the cloud streaming devices that you're logged in on. You can continue to play here, and it loads up very fast. You'll see. This does have Wi-Fi 5 and it has Bluetooth, of course, as well. So if you are wondering if there's Wi-Fi 6, there is not. That is a drawback, I think, for people on this for cloud stream. But I've had basically no issues at all. Like you can see here, I loaded in. This is all live, and the game is running great. It not lagging, and that's a testament to the device, but also I would say a testament to how far we've come with these cloud streaming services. Like Xbox Cloud Gaming over the last number of years has significantly improved. Like it is phenomenal how much better I feel like they've made it. A lot of that has to do with them upgrading their tech and their servers and everything. I believe I'm not 100% sure of that, but I just feel that difference. Like I'm out in using my devices, whether it's on data or Wi-Fi, and it's like I'm playing these games pretty natively. Like this looks great to me. It feels great. There's no lag. So that's Forza. You can jump back out here. You can play different things. Like if I want to jump into, let's say, the Division 2 with that new Battle for Brooklyn, it'll go right there and it'll load up. This game is now supported. It's on Game Pass, but I believe it's also supported if you own this. Yeah, see play, you own this. So it loads right into the Division 2. You'll be able to jump in and play there. As we wait for this to load, some other features here. It has USB-C for charging, a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and of course the micro SD gyroscope as well. If you want to play with gyro controls, it does have that. It's light as well. It's like 430 grams. In terms of ergonomics, when you are playing, the one thing I will say that this does feel basically the exact same as this. I would say there's a little bit more girth to it, if that's the right word. I'm not sure if that's the right word, so don't laugh, but it does feel a little bit bigger in your hands, which I do like. And it's a little thin. It's a little bit on the thin side, but it's a cloud streaming device, and I think most of them are pretty thin. But I played this for a couple of hours, and my hands did not fall asleep like they did with the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons when I'm playing my Nintendo Switch. So that to me is a big positive. So yeah, it's not the greatest ergonomically. I like my things a little bit thicker, a little bit bigger, but this still does feel well. And the triggers on this are great. The R2 and L2 are phenomenal triggers. The L1 and R1 are very good. So those, in terms of ergonomics and playing games like this with shooters and stuff, feels very good. And you can really control these games now, which is something that you was hard to do with the first one simply because the joysticks were so bad. I'll bring this up a little bit closer here so you guys can see kind of everything that's going on. And this is running in the cloud. The game looks great. It's not lagging. There's no artifacting. And yeah, this will obviously, as does well, depend on your internet connection and how well you have an internet connection. But overall, for me, this thing has been running very well, and I haven't had any real issues with it in terms of performance. And you get to play a ton of stuff now with cloud gaming. It is kind of the future, and you're just seeing it play out here with more devices trying to get into this sphere. So that's kind of it. I mean, the pricing for this, if you're looking to pick up one of these devices, I believe it is available right now for $250, and you can, the early bird prices I think were about 209, but it is cheap, on the cheap side, I would say, for this device. And as of right now, my conclusion with this comparatively to where I was with the first one is that this is worth it if you're looking for a cloud streaming device, low entry cost that can also do emulation on the side, because I think the main thing you're going to want to use this for is going to be playing this cloud streaming stuff. Like, yes, you can emulate, but it's not going to be your primary focus. If you want the best emulation experience, you're going to want to get something a bit more powerful. But for what this can do in emulation, and for what it can do in terms of the cloud streaming and how well it does function, I would absolutely recommend here the Abxylute One Pro if you're in the market for that thing. I love this thing. The battery life is also great. I guess I forgot to mention that, but it is like 8 hours long. And this is why I do love these streaming devices over right now the native PC PC handhelds, because the PC handhelds just don't last very long. This, you're still getting good game experience if you have good internet connection, and you can sit and play these for hours and hours, and they're not going to die. So the Absolute One Pro, I would recommend picking up one of these if you're in the market for a cloud streaming device. If you're looking for a competitor to things like the Logitech G Cloud, I would go ahead and check this one out. But on to there, let me know your thoughts. If you did enjoy this, make sure to hit the thumbs up, share, like, all that stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.